From the campus of the University of Alabama in Huntsville, I2C, it's Alabama Upstarts. Alabama Upstarts. Entrepreneurs, inventors, and startups. This is your chance to meet face-to-face with a real venture capitalist. Today's venture capital judges are communications strategist actively promoting the entrepreneurial ecosystem in North Alabama, Vicki Morris. Helping new companies navigate commercial applications in the aerospace technology arena, Dick Reeves. Real estate property management, medical manufacturer, award-winning small businessman, Bill Turner. Alabama Upstarts is sponsored by Jeffers. If animals could talk, they would say Jeffers. Jeffers since 1975. Mid-South Bank, the friendliest and most helpful bank in town. Let's meet our first contestant.
Morning, my name is Mike Broom. I'm the founder of Lunar Resource Industries, a Huntsville, Alabama-based tech startup building robotic mobility platforms for scientific instrument and payload transportation on the surface of the moon. What does that mean? For those that don't know, NASA is going back to the moon with the Artemis program. They're planning on sending the next American astronauts and the first female astronaut to the surface in 2024 with an ultimate goal of establishing a sustainable settlement by 2028. Prior to those human missions, and even during those human missions, before they land, there is a current demand for the strategic placement and transportation of payloads and instruments on the surface that can be done robotically, as well as a teleoperated presence so that NASA scientists, astronauts, and engineers can operate those scientific payloads on the surface without actually physically being there. So we are building robotic mobility platforms to transport those payloads and instruments to the surface and give them also the ability to teleoperate them. Furthermore, in order to establish that sustainable settlement, we're building mobility platforms to transport those infrastructure development payloads and instruments. There are also hundreds of millions, if not billions of tons of water ice embedded within the regolith of the moon, which is rocket fuel. It's water to breathe, or water to drink, water to grow food, air to breathe, and it's also shielding against radiation. So we are building robotic mobility platforms to transport the instruments to prospect and ultimately extract those resources. We are using robotics. We're building robotics to give American astronauts, scientists, and engineers eyes, hands, and legs on the lunar surface like never before. Morgan Stanley is projecting the space industry, which is currently valued at about $400 billion. They're projecting it to grow to 1.1 trillion in the next 20 years. Bank of America Merrill Lynch is projecting it to grow to 2.7 trillion in the next 30 years. So it's an exciting time to be in the space industry. It's an exciting time to be an American as we go back to the moon, and it's an exciting time to be right here in Rocket City. It's been a pleasure to be with you this morning and present to you. I look forward to hearing your questions. Thank you.
When did you start your company? How long have you been in business?
Yeah, so we incorporated in 2015, and we were in a business development phase for a few years. The current administration signed 4 space policy directorates directing NASA to go back to the moon and to use commercial industry through public-private partnerships to develop the capabilities and retire that risk. So we've been incorporated for a few years. A lot of it has really picked up within the last year and a half.
So do you plan to do your manufacturing here in Huntsville, or where do you?
Absolutely.
Okay. How far along are you on that process of manufacturing?
For manufacturing, we are still the concept and proof of concept phase. We're working on designs for that mobility platform. NASA just released a request for information for the industry a few weeks ago, so we're responding to that. The goal is the target launch window of the year 2023. So there is a short return on investment, 4 to 5 years out. And the long-term goal is to get to a cadence of production and launch of a rover at least once per month.
What kind of funding are you looking for?
Mm-hmm. Currently, we're in the seed stage funding round. We are looking for north of $1 million, but for competitive purposes, we can speak confidentially after the presentation about the full funding round. We're looking at return on investment within 4 to 5 years, and revenues between the 50 to 100 million range.
So basically, that's just to get the engineering started on the concept moving forward, correct?
We've got an
Right.
awesome team of folks that are excited to work in the space industry. They've come from a engineering background, electrical, mechanical, software, artificial intelligence, machine learning, some DoD contracting, some NASA contracting experience, as well as communications and technology, communications in radio frequency, mesh networking backgrounds. So we've got a wide variety of diverse backgrounds and experiences on our team. And so this part of the initial funding will be to bring them in on a full-time basis and get that foundation of the business started.
And do you have commercial partners today?
We have commercial partners. We're in negotiation with commercial partners for the development of our rover. We're focusing on NASA as a partner as well to develop this technology and get the first maiden launch to the surface of the moon. And in the meantime, we'll be collecting deposits for future missions as well from commercial partners.
Do you think it's a sustainable project moving forward? So, going back to the moon in that shorter period of time?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, I do. There's a lot of international focus on going to the moon right now. The European Space Agency has not been to the moon. India has not meaning astronauts, they have not been to the moon. India landed on the moon. Fortunately, it crashed, but they are planning a next lander as well. Israel did the same. It's tough, it's challenging, but with NASA as a partner and a customer, it's certainly doable. And with private industry stepping in to retire this risk, it's definitely, there is sustainable growth long term. Also, by developing these technologies and practicing them on the moon, so to speak, we are gaining the experience in developing the technologies to leverage that towards Mars as well as other planetary surfaces and moons across the solar system. So absolutely, there's definitely long-term sustainable growth for this business.
So NASA's not really could be only your potential customer then, correct?
NASA wants to be one of many customers. So the goal is to partner with NASA, develop these capabilities, and then retire the risk for them. And we're providing that transportation as a service to many customers.
Well, sounds very good. Sounds very interesting. I'm glad to see we are moving back toward the moon. So
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with more contestants on Alabama Upstarts.
Warehouse prices to everybody, every day. Jeffers.
Wouldn't it be nice if your bank really wanted to help you out? Your world is increasingly complex, but your banking shouldn't be that way. Our banking promise to you is to be the most helpful bank in town. We're here to help you make money. We're here to help you save money. And we're here to make banking easy and convenient.
Mid-South Bank, where helping you always comes first.
Mid-South Bank, the most helpful bank in town.
Socially In is a social media marketing agency, but we needed help increasing our Google rankings. Since we hired Webology, our leads have been up and our rankings have been up.
Websites are our specialty. Find us at webology.io.
Webology is helping with our online search presence. There's no doubt that we're helping more people here at Abogado Centro Legal, so we know exactly how many calls we're getting in from Google each month.
Websites are our specialty. Find us at webology.io.
Let's visit with a previous contestant.
We had a fantastic experience with Alabama Upstarts. Getting to go in and talk with some experienced entrepreneurs, get a little bit of coaching around how to best give our pitch was just a fantastic experience. And being an entrepreneur, I really recommend that anybody else who's considering starting a company take every opportunity they have to pitch. And Alabama Upstarts is a great venue.
Here's our next contestant on Alabama Upstarts.
Hi guys, I'm Britt Black. I'm here with NeuroBoot. It is a health management app. It helps you manage your moods. It uses a sliding scale feature to not only help you recognize what you're feeling, when you're feeling it, but at what intensity you're feeling it. It's innovative in the way that it connects you with your peer group of individuals that you've selected. So when you're having a hard day, or even when you're having a really great day, you can reach out to those people, stay connected, and keep your mind going right. It was developed for college-age women, but it's beneficial for everybody. It can help you maintain what your emotions are, how you're feeling them, why you're feeling them, etc. And you can take that information to your therapist, or you can just use it for yourself to maintain and develop new coping mechanisms that actually work for you, instead of ones that could make the anxiety or the depression worse. NeuroBoot also helps you by keeping track of these moods so that you can contact your therapist and tell them what's going on, why it's going on, and keep track of all of those aspects. It's only been on the market for about 3 months now. They've had over 1,000 downloads. They're seeking $200,000 for 25% of the company to increase marketing, get out to more college campuses, and hopefully spread mental health awareness and improve the mental health of the college students that would hopefully be using it.
So what brought this idea to you? Why did you want to do this?
Personally, I did not develop the app. Alex Holden, she was in college and she was really struggling. She was in a relationship that was putting a lot of pressure on her. Her schoolwork was putting a lot of pressure on her. And just being a young person in a new environment, developing all of those skills where you're managing your own money and your own time, and what you're doing on a day-to-day basis has a huge impact on the later parts of your life. So Alex was really struggling to understand why she was feeling the things that she was. And so she made kind of a cheat sheet for her mom that said, okay, when I am going through these emotions, this is what I need from you. These are the things that are actually going to help me. Maybe I need to go for a walk, or maybe I just need you to reach out. But when you're in a time of high anxiety or high depression, it's really hard to communicate those needs. So what the app did was let her just put it in her phone. And then if it was a really high intensity emotion, then it would alert her mother or alert a friend. And that way she didn't have to say, hey, I'm having a hard time, could you talk to me? The app would just say, hey, Alex is having a rough day, and reach out.
How does it measure? How does it work?
So it's a scale. You can go to the right, it's like angry, anxious, depressed, happy, whatever, goes all through the whole spectrum of emotions. And then you can go up too, so from 1 to 5. So at 1, it's just basic, maybe I'm having like right now, I'm at a 1 right now. Earlier today, I was having a panic attack, so I might have been at a 3 or a 4. So when you hit up, it goes all the way up to 5. So when you get to that 3, 4, 5 range, that's when it starts sending out information. And it also gives you practical activities that you can do that have helped you in the past. So when you open up the app, you start your profile, you say, okay, I know I like to take walks, or maybe read a book for like 15 minutes, or drink a glass of water, something like that. And it'll remind you, say, hey, have you drank any water today? You might be really anxious and stressed out because you're dehydrated, or you haven't been outside. Go take a walk. And it helps you just find little coping mechanisms that help in between therapy sessions or in between other endeavors to improve your mental health.
And what's the monetary model?
I don't know the monetary model. I'm so sorry. I only know the marketing aspect of it.
Now you said the app notifies. How does it? You have friends that's in the app that knows that you're having a bad day, and it reaches out to them, or how does that work?
So when you initially open it and you put in your profile information, you can choose who you want to put in. So it doesn't connect to your contacts, so it's not just going to send a message without your approval. So you choose 3 to start with, and for me, I put like my mom and my sister, or both my sisters, and so you can choose. It says, hey, you want to reach out to this person, and it'll give you the option to send the message, or maybe not right now. Maybe it's not that intense.
Does it integrate with different platforms? Apple or
Apple
Android?
Health is something that we're trying to integrate into, and that'll be a part of the financial aspect of the marketing, integrating it with other apps and like your Apple Watch and stuff like that, and knowing, when your heart rate rises, that, all of those things are conducive. So yes, we are working on that.
So can you put your finger on the phone and it measures your pulse or whatnot to figure out what's going on, or is it just what you're putting in?
It is
manually?
user entered data at this point. I think that those would be, those would be great things to add in the future, and we definitely want to. A huge part of what we want to do is get out there and research the market and see, what's the usability like?
Right.
Are you opening this app on a daily basis? Are you getting enough reminders? That's stuff that we really want to explore.
So how are you getting the word out?
Just word of mouth right now. Just telling people, saying, hey, I've been using this app and it's really been helping me. And so just face to face.
I hope you'll consider the Samsung app as well, Android.
Yes, right.
It has a dominant market share.
Right, multi-platform. I think that if they did release anything that worked with one phone, it would need to work with all of the other ones. And the thing about the thumbprint and stuff, you don't know if someone who's using the app has that technology on their phone, and we really want it to be accessible to everyone, because going to a therapist is expensive. I personally can't afford that, but I can go on my phone and put on my mood scale and everything like that and go for a walk and feel a little bit better.
Well, this has been a very great concept. So
yeah, it sounds very interesting. Very interesting.
So much.
We'll be right back with more contestants on Alabama Upstarts.
Wouldn't it be nice if your bank really wanted to help you out? Your world is increasingly complex, but your banking shouldn't be that way. Our banking promise to you is to be the most helpful bank in town. We're here to help you make money. We're here to help you save money. And we're here to make banking easy and convenient.
Mid-South Bank, where helping you always comes first.
Mid-South Bank, the most helpful bank in town.
Warehouse prices to everybody, every day. Jeffers.
There are times in life when what you do is more important than who you are. When how you respond to others is more important than what you have. When giving all of yourself is the best gift of all. What did you do today? A life-changing experience. Faith Ministry, changing lives one at a time.
Ready for the next contestant on Alabama Upstarts?
Hey, I'm David McCollum. I'm an elementary school principal in Decatur, Alabama, originally from Arab, Alabama. I'd like to tell you about my LLC, Dream 365. So Alabama schools, and really the nation's schools, are in a crisis. It's an epidemic of proportions that we haven't seen before. We live in the 21st century. It's not a microwave society anymore. It's a YouTube generation and a YouTube society. There's instantaneous change all the time. The only constant is change. So Alabama schools are in a crisis. Teachers are desperate. Students are desperate. Parents are desperate. So a lot of people think that there's no hope. So what is the solution to the problems that exist? We have societal breakdowns and mental health issues like never before. Our society, in many ways, we see on TV, our leaders are yelling at each other, people pointing fingers at each other, and there seems to be no solution. And so people think there is no hope. But there is hope, and that's where we come in at Dream 365. This is a proactive approach. We want to confront the brutal realities that face Alabama kids and the nation's kids. We want to face the brutal realities that teachers are facing, as well as society in general. So at Dream 365, we present a proactive approach to meet the problems head on. It's a community-based approach because we know that government cannot solve this problem. Throwing more money is not the answer to these problems, but what is a solution to these problems is a relational approach where we go in, we identify through diagnostic surveys what the issues are for that community. And then beyond that, we also know that there are common problems that all schools face, whether it be angry students, broken homes, teacher burnout, which is real. 50% of teachers leave the profession within the first 5 years of entering it. So we know that there's common problems that need to be solved, regardless of the community. So we come in again, we partner alongside the community, alongside the school system, and we provide hope. We provide research-based solutions to the problems that exist. The storm is already here, it's raining, and we want to provide an umbrella approach to solve those problems. So what I'm asking for today is to help an investor to come in alongside, partner with me, to launch this Dream 365. And looking for $100,000, you can recoup your costs. 25% ownership within 2 years is my plan.
And does this involve a software app development?
Potentially. I don't have an app developed yet. Literally yesterday I was in my office. I'm again an elementary school principal, and today I'm here. So I'm an educator. I look at this from 3 different phases. Number 1, I'm a parent of my 2 little girls, a single parent. Number 2, I'm an educator, and my life's career has been to serve kids of Alabama, typically in high poverty environments. And then number 3, as a parent, I know my children are facing these issues as well. So to answer your question, that would be potential, but I do know that apps cost a whole lot of money to develop.
Actually, they're a lot cheaper than a lot of other things.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead, Vicki.
So how do you implement, you talked about identifying the problems and addressing them head on. What exactly does this concept do?
Well, it provides trainings to teachers, to school systems. We partner with school systems, taking a systematic approach, a collaborative approach, going in and diagnostically evaluating what are the issues. We want to ask teachers, ask kids, ask administrators in that community, what are you facing? We already know that we're going to hear some common things. Well, kids are apathetic. Kids look at screens instead of listening to us. Kids don't respect us. That's what we know more than likely we're going to hear from teachers. We know that we're going to hear from kids, we're bored out of our minds. We want to be on technology. We're going to hear from parents, there's a disconnect. And we're going to hear from administrators like myself, we're just trying to keep all the balls up in the air. And so we know more than likely what we're going to hear. It will be validated once we get the results coming in from those diagnostic surveys. Then we come back in to provide the solutions. What are those solutions? Well, number 1, there's no silver bullet. We're going to confront the brutal reality and tell the truth, because too often companies come in and provide a Band-Aid approach. There is no Band-Aid approach that is going to fix this problem. It is an epidemic, and even from the business side of it, Alabama prisons the legislature's fixing to have to fund a lot more for prisons. Well, let's keep people from going to prison by fixing the problem with our students.
So
and
are you
helping our
partnering
teachers.
with other community organizations?
Absolutely.
Is there an implementation to help you identify the problem,
Right.
figure out what what's causing it and all of that? So what's the next step, and how does this make money?
Right. Well, you know, it's a private company. It would be a private company. I'm not in it to make money, obviously, and I'm in it to make some money, enough to feed my family. This is a mission, and I know as investors, the bottom line is we want to get our money back. But it's bigger than that. So how do you make money? Well, when we partner, there's money out there. There is federal grants, there is state grants. Money is fixing to be pushed down the throats of whoever can come in. I don't take a cookie cutter approach, because too often in schools, vendors come in with a cookie cutter approach and they say, oh, here's the answer to your problem. I've seen it happen over and over again. That's not the answer. You can't take a cookie cutter approach to the issues that our kids are facing. So what is the solution? There's no silver bullet, but we're going to provide an umbrella, and we're going to say, these are some things that we know work. These things are research-based, and we're going to come alongside you, encourage you, show you how it can be done, and then we're going to come back and partner with you after the fact. We're not just going to come in, tell you to do this, and then walk away. We're going to continue to come back to provide those wraparound supports.
Sounds like a very good concept, so sounds
Thanks.
very good. So.
Thanks for watching Alabama Upstarts. If you're an entrepreneur or an inventor, we would love to have you on Alabama Upstarts. Go to alabama-upstarts.com and sign up.
Well, Mike, we certainly appreciate you coming to Alabama Upstarts. We enjoyed your presentation, and we want to present you with a check for $1,000.
Thank you. Thank you.
All
It's a
right.
pleasure being here.
All right,
Thank
well,
you.
we wish you much luck on your success, and we'll be looking to see how things turn out for you.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, thank you.